Good morning, good morning. Welcome to our Talks with Anthony. Today we're going to have a type of conversation. For those that are new to the channel, we make mental health conversations and content that can be beneficial to your personal development and just to your well-being. However, in today's conversation, we're going to be talking about the healing power of art therapy, how creative expression aids emotional healing. I want us to take in consideration that there's therapeutic benefits of art, in emotional processing and personal growth when we are involved with art, right? So some people out there are like, is this silly? Are we really playing with art right now? Are we really using color pencils and paint and stuff like that? Like, what is really going on right now? But I really want to take consideration that there is emotional healing when we are doing this, and it's the reason why it's a therapeutic modality, right? It's used in the counseling process, so it really can be able to help us heal and navigate difficult emotions. So stick with me, and we're going to be able to grow. But I also want to give us some insight too, because I currently am working with a counseling agency, Aspire Health Alliance, as an intern. And what's happening over there is there's actually three. So there's an intern, and there's also two clinicians that are working or that they actually graduated from Les University. So that's actually an art school. So in regards to therapy, so it's really nice to see them put this into practice, and I want to be able to help us learn and really be able to get some insight. So like I said, stick with me. And our first segment, we're going to be talking about what is art therapy, right? So the key definition is going to be art therapy is a therapeutic technique that combines creative expression with psychological insight. It allows individuals to express their thoughts and emotions through various art forms. Like I said, that drawing, painting, sculpting, and that is often guided by a trained art therapist, right? They really know what they're doing. They went through the phases, the experiences in the courses, and they're really going to be able to help us really do different activities that have a therapeutic and psychological insight as well. Next is going to be the art therapist role. So art therapists help individuals explore their emotions and facilitate healing through creative process while offering a supportive and non-judgmental environment. So the judgment, they break down the rules when you first get in there, and they make it really conducive so everybody feels like they can do what they got to do, no judgment, everybody's in their own lane, and you just really explore and just have a great time. Next is going to be not about artistic skill, right? So art therapy is about that expression not being perfect. It's about just being present, and it's about the process of that really matters most. Is not just the outcome of the artwork. It's the process, right? So taking into consideration allows you, like I said, to be present, go with the flow, and you're just going to have a good time and just let your emotions, just like I said, go with the flow. Whatever feels the way you feel the way you feel. Whatever you do with the things that you do, the things that you do with the things that you do, right? So just like I said, going with the flow and just having that free expression. Next segment, we're going to be talking about the emotional healing power of creative expression, right? So what's really going on? And let's dive into that. You heard? So first concept, we're going to be talking about the processing complex emotions, right? So art provides a non-verbal outlet. So we ain't really talking, we just doing, right? So for expressing our emotions that may be difficult to articulate, through creative expression, individuals are able to externalize their feelings and gain insight in their emotional experience. So you just, like I said, when you're going with the flow, you're just doing what you're doing, you feel the way you feel, the thoughts are coming off your mind, it's just coming onto the paper, and you just, you're doing that exercise. Those are the feelings, right? And you're not even really talking. So I think this is really good to identify. Like I said, this is used for kids. This can also be used for adults too. Like who are we to judge? You feel me? It's a technique. Next is going to be assessing the subconscious, right? So creating an art can bypass a logical conscious mind and tap into the subconscious, right? So revealing hidden feelings, thoughts, and memories, right? So like I said, when you're just kind of being present, you're vibing, the different things can just come through, and then you'll be able to kind of produce that out. Like I said, the mind works in mysterious ways, but these emotions are real, and you're able to tap into those when you're being present and you're guided by an art therapist. Next is going to be the act of creating art and serving a form as
Catharsis.
emotional release to help individuals pent up feelings like grief, anger, and sadness. So that is really important for us to be able to release. In regards to some insight, in regards to research, art as a healing modality, research shows that engaging in creative activities like drawing or painting can lower cortisol levels, that stress hormone, and reduce anxiety and improve your overall well-being. So like I said, art has a significant way in regards to healing and really tapping into reducing that stress. In addition to some more insight, studies indicate that art therapy is particularly effective for individuals dealing with trauma, grief, or any mental health conditions like depression. So like I said, those out there that went through previous experiences, have difficulty talking to people, trust issues, or just overall trauma, like this is really going to be able to help you confront those emotions in a way that maybe be more, a little bit more easier going, or just kind of free going with that art. So I want us to take that in consideration, because this can help us heal. Our third segment, we're going to be talking about how art therapy helps with different emotion struggles. So there's different concepts, but like I said, this is going to be able to help us heal, but just stick with me so you're able to get that information. So in regards to number one, healing from trauma, right? So like I said, for individuals that have experienced trauma, art therapy provides a safe space, like I said, non-judgmental, to be able to express that pain, memories, those emotions without needing to verbally kind of just talk and really, you don't even got to talk, you feel me? And verbalize them, right? This can be able to help you lead to that processing and that integration from that trauma, and really be able to transcend you to kind of just, reframing, get into a different type of, development within that resilience, right? So art therapy can really be able to help reframing those traumatic experiences and help with that resilience. Number two is going to be manage anxiety and stress, right? So creating art can be able to help, as a calming effect for that nervous system, helping individuals reduce that anxiety and that stress. So when we're looking at this as, a process of that drawing or that painting can, like I said, really be able to get us in that relaxed state and, move towards that mindfulness or that meditation as we're just kind of just vibing, reducing that anxiety and stress. Number three is going to be dealing with grief and loss. Like, we got to take into consideration, we human, we come, we go, people leave this world, and you never know, you feel me? But at the end of the day, it's a process of life, and it's sometimes uncomfortable, and it definitely takes its toll. However, art therapy is allowing individuals to express the grief in a tangible way, to be able to process, creating and helping them, promote, those emotions from the loss, to be able to work through those stages of grief, ultimately promoting a healing way to be able to navigate, right? So number four is going to be able to, be able to build that self-esteem, that confidence, right? So who knew, like, this is able to heal you, help stress, but at the same time too, help your confidence too, right? So art therapy can foster that sense of achievement and that self-expression, helping individuals recognize their creative potential and build that confidence, like embracing themselves, like I said, in these non-judgmental, natural art, support compassionate in regards to that personal growth, right? So who you are. So this really be able to help you really just boost up yourself as you're navigating through your art, right? Number five is going to be, supporting emotional regulation, right? We're going to really, so like I said, take consideration of our mental health, our mind, what's really going on, and be able to process of creating art can be able to teach individuals how to express and manage their emotions. Art offers a healthy outlet for individuals that go through the emotions of anger, frustration, sadness, promoting that emotional balance. We human, we all go through those emotions, so we ain't gonna sit there and act like it ain't me, right? What about that time when you was in the coffee shop? What about that time you was in traffic? What about that time when we all have a little attitude in us? But like I said, this is gonna really be able to help us like support emotional regulation, helping us be more calm, reducing that stress, and really improving us and our wellness and our well-being, and kind of even our character, right? So we got to really take it serious. Like I said, art has a powerful way of really helping us with our emotions. In regards to some recent insights, trauma recovery studies indicate that art therapy is particularly effective for trauma survivors. It also allows, for emotional release and processing of unspoken experiences. Wow. So like I'm saying right here, this is a way for us to be able to use, painting, whatever the activity is, whatever the art, activity is, to be able to really help us go through any type of, chaotic or any type of experience, to be able to heal and really navigate through those emotions. Fourth segment, we're going to be talking about common art therapy techniques, right? So there's various ones. Number one is going to be the free expression. So this is the most basic technique art uses in regards to the therapy. So individuals are encouraged to create without a specific goal or structure. This could be able to like free drawing, doodling, or even using colors to be able to express their emotions. So I've ripped, this is just freestyling. You get a paper, whatever, you just do your thing. You feel me? Whatever comes to mind, you just freestyle, right? And that's going to be able to help you have that free expression. Next is going to be guided imagery. So an artist, in regards to that therapist, is going to really be able to break down, guided. So they're going to help you. So don't feel like what am I doing? You feel me? They're going to help you as an individual to be able to image or, imagine, a specific scenario or emotion that, translate into piece of art, to be able to help you, identify subconscious feelings and experiences, right? So they're going to help you think, process, and translate that into like a piece of art, depending on what, like I said, the prompt is or whatever that is within the guided imagery. 3 is going to be a collage, right? So you're going to be cutting out different images. We've seen this when it comes to like building a what was those things called? Like it's like a board, something board. Goal board. Let's just call it a goal board. But if anybody knows, don't throw it in the comments, whatever, and then we can move past it. But it's just overall just cutting out images in regards to creating that type of collage that allows you as an individual to express and explore what you're feeling visually, right? And you're putting that on that board. That is often going to be able to help you express identity, hope, and or that trauma, to be able to get that out. But you're also seeing it there, and it's always good to see it as a visual, because it really, it lets your brain really just get all these thoughts out and really just like what's really going on here, and you can really, you have it in front of you. So a collage is beneficial. Number 4 is going to be clay work, right? So those out there working with clay can really be able to help you, deal with that trouble expressing themselves verbally, and tactical, with that art therapist, to be able to use the clay to encourage individuals to get in touch with their emotions physically and creatively as you're moving. You're really just thinking about, whatever's going on. This could be able to help you. It's calming you down, but you're doing something productive as you're navigating through. So when you're guided, you have someone supporting you. You have a different modality than the typical, sitting there with a therapist and they're like this, they're watching and listening to you, which is fine. You have someone being present with you, but this is something that's going to help you kind of like navigate through when, if you don't feel like talking, you feel me? So I want us to take that in consideration too, because you're healing without even talking, and that's kind of crazy, and you're doing the work by yourself. So or like yourself in that way, but you have that support there too, don't get it twisted. So number 5 is going to be the mandala creation. So that's going to basically be drawing or coloring mandalas in regards to circular patterns, which can be able to induce that meditative state, to be able to produce an emotional balance. This technique is going to be able to help reduce that that anxiety, to be able to enhance that mindfulness. We need to be able to take consideration that we need that mindfulness to keep ourselves regulated, balanced, and feeling conducive and whole, to be able to do what we need to do. And like I said, these techniques and doing these proactive things overall is going to be able to help us have that. And overall, like I said, I'm pushing for that mindfulness, so we can have that peace of mind. In regards to some insights, we learned that art therapists often use a variety of, creative techniques to be able to facilitate emotional processing. This is going to be able to help us, what's really going on, why we feel the way we feel, right? And with studies, it's showing that free expression in collages can help people process trauma and reduce emotional distress. So doing these proactive activities, you can do this at home. You can go on YouTube and watch videos that can help you out, right? Or you can really get yourself involved in therapy, finding an art therapist to help get involved, to help you navigate through these emotions with that support, right? 5th segment, we're going to be talking about how to get started with art therapy, right? So like I said, there's various ways. The point, we're going to be talking about finding a qualified art therapist, right? So there's many out there, but we gotta seek to find, right? So look for a licensed art therapist with training in that psychology and art. This can be able to ensure that you're going to be able to get that guided therapeutic process and that experience, to be able to support that emotional exploration. Right, so resources like the American Art Therapy Association, AATA, can help us find a certified professional, right? So go online and, you're going to be able to find an art therapist for you, to be able to get that provided service. Next is going to be a self-directed art therapy, right? So while there is professional guidance of, that is ideal art therapists, right? There's also, a more self-directed way. You can be able to use that self-expression to be able to process your emotions at home, to be able, because everybody's time is different. Everybody has different schedules, right? So you got to find what works for you, and you can do this at home. You can do this in support groups. So just figure out, different things. Next is going to even be art, online art therapy resources, like I said. So there's different things where we're able to, like I said, do these exercises, have that, similar support, and access it, like tools from being at home. So that we got to take that in consideration. So if we really want to be able to heal, really want to be able to tap into these emotions, and do it in a different, like free-led form, really, like I said, find out what works for you, seek the support. But really, like I said, try something that's different, try something that's new, and I really kind of embrace that journey and process and the creative experience. Regards to wrapping this video up, I really want to take in consideration that art is really more than just a hobby, more than just entertainment, more than just it's a childish type of thing, right? But it's a part of healing as well. So whether you have past trauma, whether you're managing your stress, whether you're just trying to seek a way to just feeling better. Like I said, therapy is therapy, right? But there's also different modalities in regards to different techniques, strategies, activities, and different things that therapy and psychology has to offer. So I want us to remember that resilience, regards to that self-compassion, regards to our personal growth is ours, right? And we stay on our lane, we mind our business, we do what we have to do for ourselves and our well-being, our mental health will be improved. So if you found this video was beneficial, give it a thumbs up, share if possible, and make sure you subscribe so you get in the algorithms, you stick in, you're gonna make sure you get the beneficial information, right? And I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy, stay blessed.